is Lindsay Gomes, registered dietitian at ShopRite of Manchester in East Hartford, Connecticut. Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about whole grains and how to incorporate them into a healthy, balanced diet. Whole grains are foods like pasta, rice, bread, crackers, and even popcorn. So today we're going to talk about the two types of grains, whole grains and refined grains. Whole grains are a healthy component to a balanced diet. The amount in servings that we need for the day varies depending on your age, your sex, and your activity level. But a general rule of thumb is 1 serving of grains is equivalent to about a slice of toast, a cup of ready-to-eat cereal like Cheerios or some other kind of whole grain cereal like we have here, the Kashi, and also equivalent to a half a cup of cooked cereal like oatmeal, rice, or cooked pasta. Whole grains, one of the grains we're going to talk about today, have been shown to lower the risk of heart disease, help control your weight as well as your blood sugar throughout the day to keep you more satisfied and full longer. When choosing grains, we want to try to incorporate more of these whole grains into our diet, making at least half of the grains we choose whole grains. Grains are the seeds of plants. Whole grains consist of 3 important components. These are the bran, the germ, and endosperm. The bran is the multi-layered outer skin of the seed or kernel that helps to protect the other 2 parts of the grain from sunlight, pests, water, and disease. It contains fiber, important antioxidants, iron, zinc, copper, magnesium, B vitamins, and even phytonutrients, which help to protect us and keep us healthy. The largest part of the grain is the endosperm. This is the main source of food for the plant, which also provides us with essential energy like carbohydrates and protein. The germ, being the smallest part of the plant, nourishes the plant, providing us with B vitamins, some protein, minerals, and healthy fats, as well as vitamin E. Whole grains contain all 3 macronutrients, which provides us calories or energy. This comes from complex carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats. We also get vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals from these whole grains like we discussed before. Some examples of whole grains are farro, we have brown rice, whole grain crackers, oatmeal, and whole grain cereal for breakfast, and maybe for lunchtime we have some whole wheat bread. The second grain we're going to discuss today is refined grains. Refined grains are missing some of the important components that we discussed whole grains have. Refined grains have been milled and processed to remove the bran in the germ. This process is done to help make a finer texture for the grain and also improve the shelf life. What's missing when we do this process is our B vitamins, magnesium, and some iron. Many refined grains are labeled enriched, like this pasta we have here, or this white bread labeled enriched. This means that the nutrient-rich bran and germ are removed and some vitamins and minerals are added back after processing. These vitamins and minerals include thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folic acid, which are all your B vitamins, and iron. Fiber is not added back to these refined grains. Check the ingredient list when buying refined grains to make sure that they include the word enriched, like we have here on this pasta and bread. Now that we know the difference between whole and refined grains, let's take a look at some whole grain products. For example, this bread here. When choosing whole grain products, we want to look for the words whole followed by the grain. In this instance, we have a whole wheat bread. You can turn the label around and confirm that claim by looking at the first ingredient, which again is stone ground whole wheat flour. Color is not an indication of whether or not a grain is whole grains. For example, we have here a brown bread, which may be deceiving, labeled honey wheat. When we turn the label around, you can see the first ingredient is enriched wheat flour, and in fact isn't a whole grain bread. Fiber is an important part of our diet, and choosing whole grains is a good way to ensure that you're getting enough fiber during the day. When looking for whole grains, such as whole grain cereal for your breakfast, we want to look at the ingredient list. We first want to look for the words whole grain as our first ingredient, whether it's whole wheat, whole oat, to ensure we're getting the most nutritional value from our grain. We also want to look on the back of the label for added sugars. When choosing cereals, you want to try to cut back on added sugars. Look for terms that indicate added sugars such as sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, honey, malt syrup, maple syrup, molasses, raw sugar, evaporated cane juice, and glucose. Cereals targeted to your children tend to have a lot of added sugar. So when looking for cereals for your kids' breakfast in the morning, try to choose family favorites like Cheerios, Kix, and shredded wheat that tend to be a lot lower in sugar but still have the benefits of whole grains. When choosing packaged foods, we want to be mindful of the sodium content. Packaged foods like oatmeal, which you wouldn't expect, tend to have added sodium. If we turn the label around, you can see this prepackaged flavor cinnamon oatmeal packets has about 210 milligrams of sodium. When we look over at the plain oats, you see there's no sodium added. So this is kind of a hidden spot where we find sodium in our diet. So when choosing these foods, be mindful of that on the label. When shopping on a budget, looking for bulk items is a great way to save money. Although packaged oatmeal is convenient, it's just as convenient and inexpensive to buy your quick cook container of oats. When we look at the unit pricing here, we see the price in white. That's the price you'll pay at the counter. $1.79 for your bulk oats, $2.99 for your individual packaged oatmeal. What we want to look at then is this unit pricing. Unit pricing is usually labeled in yellow, and that is usually indicating the price per pound, which makes it easy to compare two items. So what that means is if we bought a pound of the quick cooking oatmeal, it would cost $1.60. If we were to buy a pound of the individual instant oatmeal, it cost us $3.17 for that same pound. So when we talk about shopping on a budget, sometimes buying in bulk is a lot cheaper. As we discussed before, packaged and prepared foods tend to have higher amounts of added sodium. So when looking for grains for an easy breakfast or dinner, try adding your own flavors. We have here the oatmeal, which we discussed tends to have a lot of added sugar and sodium when you buy the individual packets. Buy plain and add your own fruit like blueberries or dried fruits like raisins to add your own sweetness. With our rices, we have quick and easy convenient rice peel-offs with added flavors. But with those added flavors, we get about 600 milligrams of sodium per serving. So an easy option is cooking up your own plain rice and adding some no salt added seasonings. Things like garlic powder and herbs. If you like it spicy, add a little bit of a Fiesta lime seasoning. Even adding your favorite sauteed vegetables like peppers and onions, or some spicy salsa to add flavor without adding a lot of sodium. Try different whole grains you may not have tried before, like farro or quinoa. All whole grains are great for us, but they're all a little bit different. Farro and quinoa tend to have a little bit more protein than some other grains. Try things like teff or amaranth instead of rice in your dishes. Also, for a healthy snack, pack whole wheat crackers with peanut butter or low-fat cheese. Try to pop your own popcorn at home to save on fat and sodium, adding sweeteners like cinnamon and maybe some fruit. Also try these delicious whole grain brown rice crackers with your favorite topping. Be creative. Add lean turkey and cheese, or sliced pears and cottage cheese. Make it interesting and creative, and always delicious with whole grains. Thanks for exploring the benefits of whole grains today. And if you have any questions about your health or nutrition, reach out to a local dietitian. This healthy grocery tour has been brought to you by the ShopRite of East Hartford and Manchester, Connecticut, and SNAP4CT.org.